Hello, gorgeous.
Hello, good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, 7 a.m. start for me over here in Australia. So I'm all good to go though, gorgeous.
It's an early one for you.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yay.
I'm so excited to have you with me and see you
Thank
again.
you. And thank you so much for having me on your what looks like an amazing show that you're creating. So well done for that.
Thank you. Yeah, we actually have the show, and there will be also a festival in New Zealand,
That's
end of
exciting.
May. Yeah. But tell us a little bit more about what are you doing? Share. I'm sorry. I can't even
Well,
wait.
well, every day is incredibly different. I'm Sarah B from Energetic Transformations, and basically what I do is I am able to unlock the unconscious subtext that people are unknowingly functioning from. So they'll say to me, Sarah, I'm trying to create this, but this keeps happening. And so when I ask a question into what this is, I actually get a download of what that was for them. So sometimes it was a parental pattern, sometimes it's a past life, sometimes it's something from somebody else that they picked up that they didn't even realize that they had. And so when when we're able to identify what that actually is, what shows up for me is an energetic configuration. And that energetic configuration, I kind of sense it in their body, and I'm able to ask which molecule will unlock this particular pattern. It shows me, and then I just say to them, would you like to let this go now, or would you like this to break off you? And if they say yes, I kind of go like that, and it goes like that, and it changes. So it's it's like trying to explain magic to people.
I know.
But it
Guys,
works time and time and time again. And, clients all over the world contact me now and say, hey, can you shed some light on this? And I'm like, sure, it's this. And they're like, oh my goodness, I would never have got to that in a million years. And so that's kind of what I do. So my business goes by referral because it's too difficult to explain.
yeah. Guys,
So,
if you're watching this, I can just confirm I had the pleasure of experiencing what Sarah does, and it was
thank you.
really amazing. We were just walking, and I was telling her what I'm like, what was going on, and she was like, yeah, that's that. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And the moment she unlocked that, I literally felt like a shower of goosebumps went all over my body, and I
Yeah,
thought,
yeah.
holy shit, man, this was amazing. Like, it was really incredible.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, because that's exactly what the clients experience. And they're just like, you mean that's it? It's unlocked? Like, it's not there anymore? Like, do I need 10 sessions? No, probably just, 15 to 20 minutes. So
Yeah.
it's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And how did you got here? Like, how did you got where you are today?
Wow. That's a big question. um, many things have contributed to who I am today. Oh, goodness. Probably, well, my childhood was very unusual in that, because I was functioning naturally from these energetic capacities at that stage, my parents were desperate to make me normal. And so they were just like, what do we do with this child that can hear all the thoughts in people's heads, that knows what's going on instantaneously anywhere with regard to anyone, whether they're in the room or not? So they would be talking about someone, and I'd have a complete download of what was going on for that person, even if they were on the other side of the world.
Oh, wow.
And they'd be talking about them, and then I'd try and correct them because they hadn't got the information right. And so after a while, they were really quite concerned, because they didn't really have a category for this, or they didn't really know who to go and speak to or see. So unfortunately, they did impel a lot of judgment into my world. I was living in England at the time, and they really wanted to make me wrong for everything I was doing, because they didn't understand it. And so they really entrained me into being the good girl, and making sure I got my grades. And there was a lot of enforcement that they used to try and make me right, but right according to their world, which really wasn't true for me. And so it was in a way, this has probably been the greatest gift to me as well, because I really understand the enforcement of judgment into other people's worlds. And that's a lot of what I unlock for people. It's like, no, who are you underneath who you think you should be? and it's quite interesting to look at that. So probably that the beginning of my life like that would have been what shut it down. And then in the teenage period, I was incredibly depressed, sometimes quite suicidal, because I just couldn't be who I was. And then by the time I'd shut down all my capacities to conform, I couldn't function in a way that was natural to me. And so it wasn't really until I got to New Zealand that changed, because I lived in New Zealand as well. And it was the energy of the land in New Zealand that was just amazing.
Getting goosebumps.
I know. Well, the wiri and the Maori culture and the connection that I had to all of that really awoke me once again. So exciting.
Wow, that must have been really quite, a really hard journey as well, because if you have a gift no one else understands, people think like, oh my God, she is crazy,
Yes.
And if the parent is not aware and doesn't have that awareness, then it's so hard for the child, because there's no one to talk to.
Exactly. And I wonder how many others of us have been shut down that have these capacities. I don't feel they're unique to me. I feel like when I really access the peace that other people want in their worlds, when they ask me what they would like, I go, oh, that capacity. And it's suddenly present in them as well. So I'm actually very excited about what I can do for others in unlocking these capacities, so that we can all function from the energetic world. So for me, energy is our primary language. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
God. So I think we already talked a little bit about that, but what were your biggest challenges on your path to get you where you are today?
Well, probably trying to be with what other people wanted me to be, knowing that it wasn't me, and trying to make sense of a world that didn't make sense. Yeah, so now I'm more in allowance of it not making sense, and knowing that what I have is contributory. So probably the biggest wound, if you like, for me was not feeling like I was a contribution to the world. And that was what took me to some of the really darker places in my life, where I just sometimes didn't want to be here, because if I couldn't make a contribution to the world, why was I here? And yet, isn't it interesting that the reverse is actually true? And now I'm being the most enormous contribution to other people's lives. Like daily, I get testimonials and texts of gratitude of, you've just absolutely changed something for me that I just would not have found in a million years. And it's unlocking people's lives. It's very exciting.
That's so beautiful. And it's so needed at this time, where really we all, we really need to get back to learn who we actually are and who we're meant to be.
Yes,
just
exactly.
A question from Justine. She asked, where in Australia is Sarah?
I'm on the Sunshine Coast in Buderim, but I'm also live by Skype. So anyone in the world can actually get hold of me if they would like to.
Cool. So Justine, you can comment or just send Sarah a message, a private message, and she will get back to you if you want to get in touch with her.
Yes, it's Sarah B Energetic Transformations on Facebook is a good start, or sarahb.com as my website, and you can send me a message that way as well. There you go. Little plug for myself, but they did ask.
Cool. So when did you found that special gift? Like, when were you aware? Because I reckon because of your journey as a child, there was probably also a lot of confusion that, it's not a gift, maybe something is wrong with me. Like, when did you become really aware, like, no, this is a gift, and this is like, this is, the world needs this?
Well, it's interesting because I obviously did have a lot of this as a child, And then when I was shut down, I didn't have it anymore. And so when you're looking from not having something, you don't know that you have it or you had it because you'd forgotten about it because it's been shut down for so long. And so really for me, it was probably more when I came to New Zealand. You see, it was interesting because I got so entrained into this reality. Between the age of 20 and 30, I actually created $1 million. Like, and it was like, because I went into financial planning and in London and sales and that sort of thing, and I ran a team of salespeople, and it was like, oh well, this is my life then. And so it was quite I actually retired at the age of 30. So
Nice.
I knew I'd had enough of this reality, and I didn't really want to work in it, but I suppose I knew I needed money. So I went and got the money, and then once I had that, I could relax again. And then I suppose from that relaxation, I was able to, we actually migrated to New Zealand from London. And it was really in New Zealand, it was the combination probably of having the money, being able to get into New Zealand and live somewhere different. And then it gave me the time to actually really go, well, who am I now and what would I like to create? And so I actually set up a massage and healing business in Tauranga. And yeah, and I also used to work at the Mount Hot Pools as well, at Mount Maunganui for a while.
We went there 2 weeks ago.
Okay, cool. That's a good spot. And yeah, so probably in that time, I can't explain how strong the connection I had to the land. The land just spoke to me constantly, and it really started to assist me in healing. And all of the probably all of the stuff I had learned actually started to dissolve and come off me, and I started to become, because I was then probably functioning in a true, even though it was under massage therapy, people were coming in for a massage and they were getting an awful lot more than that. So I had people driving from Napier to come and see me like 6 hours, you know, for one of my massages. So it was just a lot of fun. And really from that, it was sort of when I realized what I could do with people's bodies, that then I suppose that really opened me more, and then I was aware of the talents that I have. And since then I have done some amazing classes and courses with different organizations. Access Consciousness in particular has helped me dynamically, and they were very good at going, Sarah, what are these are gifts? What are these are capacities? What are those? And I'm very grateful to them for the facilitation that they've assisted me with. But we get different pieces from different places, don't we, as we grow? So yeah.
That's so true. Wow. I actually totally agree with you with New Zealand is a healing land. Like,
yes,
I feel like a lot of people, when they come here and they've been having a really horrible past, they also go through a healing crisis,
yes,
where
yes,
everything just happened at once, where I think like, you actually healing, like, you're going through a healing crisis, but this is good. Like, I know the first
I agree.
3-4 years being here for me, they were hard.
Yeah,
but everything still fell into place. Like it was like a natural flow of things happening and, going for me really, working out for me really well. But it was still like tough work, like going through everything and, finding that piece of yourself.
That's right.
So I can really relate to that.
Well, finding lots of pieces of yourself, because how many pieces of yourself do you not have that you don't know that you don't have because you haven't got them?
Exactly. You don't know what you don't have until you had it, and then you lost it maybe again.
Well, it's more of, the question kind of more is, what's beyond what I have already? What else could I ask for that I haven't? Because we don't get encouraged to actually be more, have more. But as I ask those questions, there's so much more available for me and everyone else. So it's the trick is to go beyond. And go into the unknown in order to have more, because otherwise you stay the same. So yeah.
So
that's thought-provoking, isn't it?
It is. Absolutely. I mean, I always felt like each time I'm doing like a course, a seminar, or I'm going to a retreat, or, you know, I'm attending a workshop, like I very often feel like I'm getting handed a piece back of me. Like, you
Absolutely.
know,
Yeah.
it's like each time you're realizing there was another piece of you and you're getting it handed back.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, I so again agree with you. Like, how many
Mm.
pieces are there not there we don't know about?
Yeah.
Like, how much
Well,
is
that's
out there of us?
Well, that's right. And that's for me why this work's so important, that we actually release the limitations off ourselves so that more of us is available. It's not necessarily, from my point of view, it's not necessarily about taking on more information and having more rules and regulations to function by as if that's going to create us as more successful. It's actually about releasing everything that we've already taken on so that we can be ourselves again. So
Yeah,
it's a different system. Yeah.
absolutely. And I think you explained it a little bit already. You know, what are you exactly doing when you're using your technique?
Well, it does vary from person to person because the download is so non-linear. Sometimes it comes through in a word format, which is helpful. Sometimes it comes through in an energetic format, which is where sometimes I'll actually need to just have the energy in my hand and almost throw it to the person. So sometimes, because that's the energy that's missing, and then when they've got that in their space, that will then unlock all the other pieces. But fortunately, I seem to be able to throw energy through computers really easily. So it doesn't seem to, it doesn't matter whether people are in person with me. It's not necessarily better, which is really interesting. So yeah, it's so for me, I simply ask a question into that person's space. I ask a question into that limitation that they've got that's stopping them from having this, and then it just goes basically in one way, shape or form. But it is helpful if I get the download. It actually calms the person's mind down if I can communicate to them what that actually is by giving them the subtext. But I don't need the subtext in order to change it. I just need them to show me the energy of the limitation, and then I can unlock it. So yeah.
Awesome. Can we try a technique for the audience?
Yes, of course. What would you like to be the client?
Yeah.
Cool. Or unless you have another one online that would like, I don't mind going via you to them. Whatever you'd like to do. Yes.
Yeah. Is there anyone? Speak up now, or I'm taking your spot.
I think it's you, my love.
Okay.
So if you could have anything out of this 2 minutes, what would you like to have either more of in your life or less of in your life?
Yeah, probably less limitations about myself. Like,
okay,
limitation about what I can do, being 100% me.
Okay. So would you be willing to give up the construct of judgment?
Yeah.
Cool. Would you be willing to show me the point at which you first created judgment as real and true for you? There's the download coming in through my space. Okay, I've now got this in my hands for you. Would you now be willing to unlock this if you say that? Yes, it's going to change.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Let go, hun. Just let go, let go, let go. Whoa. And you can watch both our bodies moving and changing as the download goes through Linda's body.
I literally feel like a heat wave coming over me.
And majoritively that let go from the pelvis. Majoritively. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. You know what? I was the whole week I'm thinking I want to get that book from Gabrielle Bernstein, you know, Detox Judgment Detox.
Okay.
Oh my God. It's like, you know, you're putting it out there to the universe and it's happening.
That's right. Exactly. And so what will happen for you now is, because we've unlocked the point at which you created it, it's like the rest of it will all fall down like a pack of cards now. So even though the mind will continue to go, hey, you know, I'm not good enough, you know, I'm not worthy, I'm not whatever, you'll start to go, there's no substance to this anymore. Why is there no substance here? Oh, maybe, oh yeah, no, I unlocked that. Okay, cool. And so then it's like, oh no, that's nonsense. Why would I even think that? And then that's how it sort of changes. So the key is to pull out the what we call the point of creation of the limitation.
Wow. Yeah, Justin just wrote, how come I felt something too? Interesting.
Oh, well, if you said yes in your world, it would have changed in your world too. So I can do groups of, 40 people upwards, easily at the same time. So when I run my half-day workshops, I actually will take live questions from the audience constantly, unlock that in their world. If anyone else says yes in the room that's got something similar to what the person is that I'm talking to, I just encourage all of those that want to say yes when I ask that question, would you like to change it? Because that's always the point where the client has choice, which is really important. And then if they say yes, then it changes in their world. So Justine, somewhere in your world, you would have had a yes in your world because you've had enough of judgment too, and so have I.
Amazing. She said, ironically, judgment is my current stuff. There you go.
Cool. Perfect.
Everything happens for a reason. Like
it does.
You're getting attracted and doing things because there is a bigger picture,
There is. And when judgment's, a huge limitation that we've all gone under, and it does stop us being ourselves, and it's where we've made other people's points of view on us more real and true than us being us.
Amazing. Just amazing. Guys, if you have the chance, get in touch with Sarah or go to her workshops. You have to experience this. This is really amazing.
Cool. So, thank you.
Are you running programs, events, retreats? Tell me about your service.
Everything, lots of things. Well, thank you. So what I've done is I've created a series of classes that I'm calling Changing the Impossible, which is ridiculously bold, but it gets people's attention. and I pretty much can change the impossible if they are willing to let it go. So the client is always in charge, and that's important. No one can actually change something in another person's world without their energetic consent. Okay, so yes, I've created these classes called Changing the Impossible. I do lots of speaking events as well, and then I do a half-day workshop, and then I have a 2.5-day workshop as well. And so people come through and they try a little bit, and then when they really like it, they go, oh, I need 2 days of this, 2.5 days of this. And so that's what I'm doing at the moment. And I'm touring Australia regularly in different different places, and New Zealand I would love to come back to, because obviously that's where my journey started. So watch my website, watch my Facebook page, because that will show up, and I'd love to come and see you and connect with you with regard to that, Linda. So that would be exciting.
Well,
yeah,
I have an idea.
Okay, cool.
The festival is coming up on the 25th of May. I'm not sure if you have already something on, but it will be the Alternative Solution Festival, and there will be all alternative solution to health, wealth, and well-being. Okay. So
I haven't got my diary in front of me. I can have a look, but I do know I'm pretty booked up for from May through to June. But you never know; there might just be a slot where we can chat more on that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I will give you a call after this call.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, but let's continue. So how long did it took you to get where you are today?
Well, it's probably my whole life, isn't it? Really, I don't understand why exactly I would have gone through the process of shutting myself down before opening myself back up. Oh, no, I've just been told why. Okay, good. I get downloads for myself too. So I stopped mid-sentence, I jumped tracks, okay? So the awareness was so that I knew how to unlock others. So, okay,
wow.
Cool. So that makes sense. Yeah, because I jump around a bit. Yeah, so it was like, so from my childhood, having been shut down from all the judgment in this world, and, some various different bits of abuse and various other things that I got to experience, I wondered why I had experienced it all, and it really is so that I have had the experience of what others have gone through, and I actually have the techniques now because I've unlocked myself. I'm then able to unlock others. So there we go. That's exciting. I didn't know that until I said it. Cool. Thank you for the question.
My pleasure. What would you tell other spiritual entrepreneurs which are on their journey to find their own gift and purpose and ideas?
What would I tell them? Undo everything you've taken on. Don't take on more. Don't take on more ways of doing things. You have your way underneath all of these other ways that we've been shown. And if you really do want to function from the authenticity of you, yeah, you're going to need to not take on other people's information as more real and true than you.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. That's so good. And yeah, so true.
Yeah.
Guys, listen, don't take anything on. Listen to Sarah. And you probably know that yourself too.
Undo it all.
Undo it all, yeah.
Especially undo everything you think you've got right. Because if you've decided you've got it right, you will not be willing to look at it because the only other option you think is that you've then got it wrong. No, you haven't. If you've got it right, you're fixed in it and it may not be true for you. So I quite often will say, are you being right about this or is this true for you? And there's a really big difference between rightness and true. I'll let you play with that one.
I like that. That gives me food for thought.
It is, yeah. Well, the rightness is in the mind where you've decided you've got it right. And what's true for you is from the whole being. It's who you are. Yeah. So are you referencing your head or are you referencing all of you? That's what I'm also asking with that.
Yeah, NLP, we were saying, never think you know. Because once you think you know, you're closing up the possibility of learning anything new.
That's
so always think, yeah, you have an idea, but there's always more. There's always more.
There you go. And would you be willing to move and change everything if something greater was possible?
Yes.
Yeah. See, this is where the crazy conversations go.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also, I mean, going that path is bold, you know, because obviously, you know, it's nothing, you know, like, I mean, you see women, they go to abusive relationships because they were abused by their parents. It's because we are so more likely and conditioned to go back to what we know rather than stepping out of that box and going to the unknown, you know, and seeing what could happen. Like,
but if you don't choose the unknown, you're always going to get exactly what you've got. Because how would you find out what else is possible?
Yeah, absolutely. And what would you say are the 5 keys to success?
Well, I would say knowing what's true for you instead of being right about things. I would say commitment to yourself first in every situation. And so many of us will have had that misidentified as selfish, but if you don't bring you into the computation of what you're creating, then you something on this one for you, hun?
Oh yeah, you know.
So if because you took yourself out of the screen at the same time, so I would say make sure that you so all the selfish issues that people have accused you of, which is actually when you were you saying what was true for you, would you like to let that go?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, cool. Whoa, extra free session. Whoa. Yay.
Oh my God.
Yay. Okay. Nice. Yeah, so I would say so commitment to self would be really important. I would say focus, stay with what's true for you, not what you think's right. Also for me, I need to be an allowance of everyone else's journeys and everyone else's ways, because my what I'm aware of is so different for me. It's like you can't really ever impose this on someone else. And so you need to be an allowance of when they're ready to change. Even if you can see it's screamingly obvious in their world that this is the problem or that's the problem, you cannot pop it into their world until they actually ask you the question, if that makes sense. Because otherwise you're giving them something they can't deal with yet. So it's been an interesting journey for me with regard to that. So another way of saying that, which is probably maybe the fourth one as well, is it's the willingness to not be superior. So even though in my world I may have what I might think is a superior awareness of what they because I might know beyond what they know, okay, but that's not necessarily superior. So for me, I like to say it's important to know that I may have the superior awareness, but I'm not to deliver it with superiority. Does that make sense? Yeah. So we may know greater or different from them, but we can't make our healing journey more superior, because what do they know? Because they need to function from themselves in their world, not have me impose it onto them. So I'm very careful when I'm dialoguing the unconscious subtext for them to say, hey, this does this resonate with you? And I'll put it in a question format back to them, and they go, oh yes, that was to do with my grandfather, or that was and so and then they go, oh, I get it now, and then that's how it transfers. But if I say it's this or it's that, they then have to react to it instead of going, oh, no. So it's that journey and that dance of not being superior, but having the different information or the for them. So not being superior would probably be that one. And really, for me, the other part of my journey, which I would suggest, is probably acknowledging yourself. So even if other people aren't acknowledging the gift because they cannot see where you're functioning from, but it's really important to actually acknowledge you. So and you need to be careful with that, with the value of you and what you charge, and make sure that it's honoring. So so acknowledging you when others can't see what it is that you're doing, and still know the gift that you are, even if they can't see it.
That's such an important thing. Like, I mean, I think in any service-based occupation, like even when I'm doing NLP, because it's non-tangible, like people can't touch it, like it's something which is happening within them. And it's so hard to pinpoint and say, like, see, this is the result, like, because usually the results come after, they're not happening in the minute when you do that. It's not like you're going to a hairdresser, you're getting a cut, and after that you see the cut and it's looking great, and it's you walking out. I mean, you feel something changing, but to actually see it in your environment will take a while. So I can totally relate to that it's hard to explain something to people if they haven't experienced it.
Correct. But lots of people are able to explain better now from what they sense. And that's key for us on a world planet level as well, that we are more engaged with the energies, we are in tune with planet Earth, that we are not just functioning from the enforcement of our minds or other people's points of view, and that we are living what's true for us. Definitely.
Amazing. And then we're already coming to our last question. Is there anything else you would like to tell the audience? Anything else you want to give them on their path?
Well, I feel we've probably covered that fairly extensively already. Lots of little tools and tips. If you listen back to this, you'll probably hear different things that Linda and I have said. Be true to you, live your life fully, and go beyond. Go beyond what's comfortable. If you go into uncomfortable, then you will have new awareness, and then what was then uncomfortable becomes comfortable. So it's a bit like, for me, you know, a while ago, it was like, well, so Facebook Lives might have not been comfortable, but you choose them, and then they're ease for you, and you just go through that uncomfortable transition while you're learning about something, and do that with yourself. It's the same. Choose something new. It becomes uncomfortable, and know that it's going to become uncomfortable, and then you work through it to become comfortable, and then you have more of you. But if we don't choose beyond, we don't change and we don't grow.
That's such a beautiful message. Guys, if you want to see how Sarah does some stuff, just watch the replay. She actually did live, like, one of her techniques, and it's been really, really amazing and mind-blowing. Like, yeah, if you get a chance, go and check out her workshops, her programs. She's all over Australia and hopefully soon in New Zealand.
Yes. I'm sure you can incentivize me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. If you have any questions or you want to say something, hey, Sasha, good evening from Germany. Hey, awesome.
Hey, Germany.
If you guys have any questions, pop it in the comments. If you want to connect to Sarah, just send her a message or send me a message, and I get you guys in touch. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Sarah. It's been amazing. I always love to connect to you, and I can't wait to see you again in person.
Yeah, likewise. Definitely, likewise. So it's sarahb.com for the website, and it's Sarah B Energetic Transformations for the Facebook page, just in case you guys wanted it. Thanks.
Cool. Go and check it out, guys. It will definitely rock your world and bring you back a big piece of yourself.
And it's fun too. Like, we usually giggle through it because the energies are so, you know, as they break off you, it's such a release, and it's a lot of fun. It doesn't have to be really serious, even though some of the subjects can be. So it's all good.
And that's also really important, to have some fun, you know, going through stuff and have fun. It doesn't have to be all hard.
No.
All right, guys. I wish you an amazing day. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. If you're watching the replay, let me know that you're watching the replay, and tell me where you're coming from, and what maybe you experienced something within the life, you know, within yourself. So let us know, and we see you next week for our next episode of the Alternative Solution to Health, Wealth, and Well-being.
Yay. Thank you.
Thank you too. See ya. Bye.
Bye.